France, and I now give the floor to the representative of Japan.
Thank you, Madam President. I would like first to welcome Mr. David Shearer, Special Representative of the Secretary General, and thank him for providing a vivid picture of the situation on the ground. Japan appreciates and supports your efforts to bring peace to the people of South Sudan in a very difficult environment. I would also like to thank Golgi for the updates and also thank Ambassador Fodesek for his very active chairmanship of the South Sudan Sanctions Committee. Regrettably, we have been witnessing very concerning incidents in South Sudan. These include the ongoing violence across the country, attacks on civilians, including those by the SPLA, continued access restrictions, and famine. A staggering 3.5 million people, nearly a third of the population, have been displaced. Many of them are women and children. We are also appalled by the killing of humanitarian workers, with 14 deaths in 2017 alone. These brave humanitarian workers sought only to help the South Sudanese people. The South Sudanese government must fulfill its primary responsibility to protect civilians. On 23rd of March, the Security Council was united in adopting a presidential statement calling for 5 steps to be taken, including permanent ceasefire, humanitarian access, and the removal of obstacles to AMIS operations. It is very disappointing that there has not been concrete action so far. Despite having personally participated in the 25th March IGAD summit, President Kiir has not yet announced a unilateral ceasefire as agreed upon in its communique. Japan urges all parties, including the government, to respond immediately and fully to the Security Council presidential statement. In this connection, we take note of the South Sudanese government's recognition that an inclusive national dialogue is necessary to improve the security situation of the country. Japan reiterates the importance of a genuinely inclusive national dialogue and is ready to support the efforts of the government to this end. Regional engagement is increasingly important in sending a clear message to South Sudan. In addition to bilateral efforts, last month saw many things happen. Visits by the AU High Representative and the AU Commission Chairperson to South Sudan, the AU Peace and Security Communique, the IGAD Summit meeting, and President Muhaye meeting with Riek Machar. We welcome these efforts and encourage the region to strengthen them. We also appreciate and support the neighboring countries that are hosting nearly 1.7 million South Sudanese refugees. Japan welcomes a follow-up report of the Special Investigation on Juba violence last July. We are encouraged that AMIS has enhanced its capabilities to protect civilians, including through more robust patrols, and that it has bolstered contingency planning and staff safety, as we heard from SRSG Shearer today. This is good progress, but it is not enough. It must be accompanied by meaningful efforts by the government of South Sudan. Japan reiterates its call for the government's full cooperation with AMIS on the implementation of its mandate, including on the early deployment of the Regional Protection Force. To conclude, Madam President, the Council remains united in backing commitments of the AU, IGAD, and the Secretary General to collectively support the peace process. We believe the Secretary General's continued involvement is particularly important to build on the 29th January joint press statement. Japan remains firm in its commitment to peace and stability in South Sudan. I thank you, Madam President.
I thank the representative of Japan, and I now give the floor to the representative of Italy.
Thank you, Madam President. I wish to thank the Special Representative David Shearer for his update on the situation in South Sudan. We are pleased to hear that of the implementation of some measures to improve the protection